particularly suspicious.
I suppose that's to be expected, though. If a single conversation's all that's needed to find them... Anyway, even though we didn't make a breakthrough, let's...
But where should we start? Ah, you're right! Flora mentioned that Callus probably only ended up with the gun.
According to Jacques' family members, he already told them that he had been discovered, and that he had no choice. If I had to guess, he probably received an order from the synth boss to...
So, Jacques fired the first shot?
Oh? And why is that?
Ooh, that's a good point. Jacques probably already knew that he was just being used as a tool for murder. And once he had completed his mission...
So, what would make more sense from his perspective would be to turn his back on the Order and seek protection from my father. Makes sense. But without evidence, that's still just a theory. Besides Jacques, the attack from the Gardamex has been bothering me quite a bit as well. It's obvious that our enemy has become more antsy after the secret of the primordial seawater was revealed.
Do you think he knew, even then, that we'd follow this?
Given everything that's happened since, it's... But who among the three suspects would have the ability to control privately owned Gardamex? Thierry, you say? But I didn't feel like he was lying when he was talking to us.
Yeah, had he actually tampered with the mecha, we'd be... If the mecha were taken from the guards, it should be pretty easy to find out when and how that happened.
Uncle Marcel? And with funds from the Confrérie, he could also afford a large... Still really hard for me to imagine, though. Also, wouldn't this mean he has been spending a whole lot of mora and energy to fight his own synth bit? Florent? But, as Spina di Rosula's advisor, his work mostly deals with personnel and security.
So you're saying he's too broke to afford a mecha army?
Exactly. He can't. And, who could it be? You know, if you think everything through...
Could we be missing other suspects? Malus didn't know about the people turning into...
Malus has always been very reliable. The suspect is knowledgeable about the Spina's internal affairs, has the means to dispatch mech... Even if I don't want to believe it, I'm starting to see how things could all tie back to Uncle Mar...
Well, we still have another trump card on top of all the theorizing and speculating.
Yes. Malus did say that charging straight in there would be extremely risky. We need far more solid proof before we can hope to go charging in on our enemy.
Navia, here you are. Oh, I've been looking for you.
Huh? Aren't you the guy from the guard?
Yeah. News came from Irenaeus just after you left. We've got enough...
Wasn't that place built specifically for holding trials? What's so newsworthy about this?
I know. But they said the person they're putting on trial is a Fatui harbinger called
What? Is that someone you know?
Yeah, we know him.
Well, he's been accused of being the true culprit behind the serial disappearance.
Wait, how? None of our investigations have had...
That's what I thought was strange about it. So, if the charge against him stands, then it'll be next to impossible to get the guards to support
Right. Because they'll think they've already...
Yeah. And it'll be a lot harder then to clear Mr. Callus's name.
I understand. Split up? What do you mean? Just as expected of my partner. Since this is a trial, you're right. This is our best opportunity. I won't have any chance of making that charge stick, though, unless we find more evidence. It'll be up to—
We'll help you, just like you helped us in Linny's trial.
Demoiselle, please allow us to accompany.
I'm ready.
Ah, Malou, Silver. When did you two get here?
We heard that you'll be leaving Poisson and figured that you might require. It's our hope that your confidence will be bolstered with the two of us.
Thank you so much. Then, let's make haste for Irenaeus.
See you then! Now that Navia has set out for Irenaeus, we should also get going. The location has already been marked on the map, so let's head over. Huh. According to Malusa's info, the synth production base is underwater. Let's go and try to find the entrance. Finally found it! Huh. So this is the entrance that leads to the synth production base. It sure doesn't seem out of the ordinary. Ah, you're right. An important place like this is bound to have a ton of protective measures and mechanisms. Navia's probably arguing up a storm right now to stall for us.
It would appear that I must repeat my question again, Mr. Tartaglia. Do you accept the charge that you are the true culprit behind the serial disappearances case?
To be perfectly honest, I don't understand your country's complicated court system, or the reason why I'm being charged with something I've never even heard of. However, I did hear that people who have been charged can choose to participate in it, in which case, as long as I accept the charge, I can have an all-out fight with that champion duelist Clorend, right? I've got to admit, that's one of the most enticing off. When I privately sparred with her last time, she was obviously holding back. Real disappointing.
Hey! Don't you understand?
Oh? Sounds like the Hydro Archon wants to lecture me on the ways of the Opera House. Then why don't you duel me too? I'm the kind of student that learns best in the heat of battle.
No. That's not what I meant.
Alas, it would appear that communication with the defendant is going poorly, and we have made very little progress. In that case, let me explain everything from the very beginning again. The goal of this trial is to determine the culprit behind the serial disappearances case.
That case had nothing to do with him! You've got the wrong— Huh? What's going on?
Why is she
I told you it couldn't be one of the
Miss Navia, this is the second time you've interrupted the court proceedings. I only tolerated your behavior but that was an exception rather than standard court protocol.
Oh, please. Did you ever think I had any respect for this place's pointless theatrics? We can put that discussion aside for now. I'm not here to argue with you. And if my charges prove true, then Tartaglia here will be proven innocent by default.
Oh, a young lady has charged in and offered to clear my name. How fascinating. Well, so, Your Honor, is there nothing else for me to do now?
You may take a seat for now in the audience, but that doesn't mean the suspicions against you have been lifted. Now then, Miss Navia, who is—
That person is... Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières!
Huh? What?
I've heard of them, but weren't they
Oh, is this going to be a friends to enemies type situation?
Please let me remind you, Miss Navia, that charging someone is an incredibly serious matter. And if the charge fails, depending on the circumstances, you may also be charged with the crime of making a false accusation.
Yes.
In that case, I declare the charge to be valid. Miss Navia and attorneys, please take your places on the court. Members of the guards, please contact Mr. Marcel right away so that he— Mr. Marcel,